I'm using the tripod that Dibble Craftian sent me, and I'm wearing a shirt so that I should have the blessings of Helen Smith and all of my detractors who say, you know, what are you doing under that blanket? What are you doing under that blanket, Pop Pop? You know, why don't you have a shirt on under the blanket? Why don't you have a t-shirt with the sports shirt with the tie and then the blanket? That would be better. That would be decent. It was like the last time I was in the hospital and they sent a priest to come see me, and the priest was like, well, you never know, son, on the edge of life, you should have the last rites just in case, son. And so I was like, yeah, okay. Very nice young priest. He's like 28 years old. Father Flannery or something. I still have his number in my file somewhere. And he started to give me the last rites. And this is no exaggeration. I'm not going to put it as crudely as he asked me, but he was like, "Oh, son, before we get started, you're not jerking your gherkin, are you?" And I'm like, "Father, I don't tickle my pickle. I'm not jerking my gherkin, and I don't tickle my pickle. So you can go ahead with your booga booga and last right stuff, and everything will be dandy as candy." So he gave me the last rites, and he didn't give me the little cracker or anything like that. The last time the last time I got the little cracker and wine was, oh gosh, be like 15 years ago when I was living in South Baltimore with my girlfriend Linda from Argentina. Linda's father was a policeman, Bolivia or Argentina. It was in the Perón era. You know, Evita and all of that. The long story short was uh, Linda's father passed away, and her house, the father paid for the house and all, and left it to Linda as a little girl. Linda was like 12 at the time. Hey, Wilma. I've been right here. I haven't done any live streams. I'll tell you why. Last night was a particularly rough night. So, in any case, Linda's house got taken away from her in a slaughterhouse. And I can tell you that Linda was heavy duty. She just always wanted to fight everybody. And she had the she had the remnants of having been pretty, but having lived a very rough life, because when they would slaughter the animals, if the animals got really upset and decided to fight, they would have the butchers on a platform, and they would lift them up into the air above the slaughterhouse until the animals ran out of energy and collapsed, and then they would let them back down to finish dismantling the things while they were still alive. If you can imagine the horror. So this lady was extremely hard. So in any case, we went to a church one time and they had kneelers, and the man in front of us decided to sit instead of kneel, and he leaned back and he bumped Linda's hand as she was on the kneeler praying. And rather than letting it go, she decided to start WW3 in the middle of a church with this guy. I'm like, Linda, come on, we're in church. I don't remember where it was. It was like Glen Burnie or something, or Baltimore. And there nobody spoke English, which is fine with me. And everybody was from Honduras or El Salvador. And it was right at the peak of the H1N1 epidemic. So long story short was, when they had time for communion, Linda said, let's go up and get communion. So in any case, there were two communion lines. And Linda's in the right line. She's laughing at me because I'm in the left line. So as it turns out, people in the right line got the little cracker, the little host, and they go and they sit down. The people in my line go through and you get the little cracker, the host. Then you get the wine, which is a communal cup. A communal cup is where everybody from 135 different countries at the height of the H1N1 pandemic are going to drink out of this same cup. So I get up to the priest, and he raises the cup up and he blesses it, and he goes to give me the wine. I look down in the cup, and there's this big gob of spit, a big hoogie, floating on top of the wine. And so the priest is pushing the cup to me and trying to put it up to my lips and make me drink out of the cup. And I'm like dodging and everything else, and and thank God it was more like liquor than wine. It was more like liquor than wine, because I don't think, if the alcohol content hadn't been pretty high, that I would have gotten off without catching something. Because like I said, everybody was from Honduras or El Salvador or Haiti, or nobody spoke English. And the priest just taking this cup, and he's like, oh yeah, you gotta drink this. And I was just like a dog when you try and give a dog medicine and the dog will turn right and left and back up on you and all that other stuff. So I looked down in that cup and I was like, oh my gosh. And Linda was over on the other side of the church in the cracker only line laughing, you know. I think that was really the night that our relationship started to spiral out of hand. And I got tired of all of the fighting and who struck John with her. And it ran in her whole family. She had a daughter who was trifling, and somebody threw her daughter through a plate glass door, and the daughter had these scars like Bride of Chucky, where they had to assemble her back after going through the closed plate glass door. And we had a horrible, horrible snowstorm that year up in Baltimore. And Linda told me to go dig out her daughter's Buick out of the snow. She always gave everything like a command. So I was still elderly at that point, you know, and it wasn't a good idea for a man my age to be digging a Buick out of the snow. But I went with the daughter and got the daughter out of the snow. And in any case, a couple days later, I heard moaning on the other side of the wall. And it was her son had gotten sick. And she was literally leaving the boy there to die. So I came to the door and I asked her, I said, what's with all the moaning on the other side of the wall? And she said it was her son. So I said, let me go in and see what's going on. Having worked in a nursing home, you know, I was pretty confident I might be able to help or tell her what to do. So I went in there and looked at the guy, and he was like 39. He wasn't any young kid staying with mommy. And as it turned out, he was a horse addict. So he was a drug addict. So I look at him and his lips are all split and cracked. And he hadn't eaten for days. He hadn't gone to the bathroom. I said, well, Linda, his kidneys are shutting down because he's so severely dehydrated. So I took the phone and I called 911 and I got the dispatcher. I said, I'm here with a youngish, middle-aged man, and this is a situation. And in any case, the dispatcher came back and said, well, we'll send somebody, but you're just trying to get your road cleared from the snow. We'll send somebody, but you're trying to get your road cleared. So I told the lady, I said, well, if I don't have this kid going to the hospital in 45 minutes, we're going to need a plastic body bag for him. So the car dealership had given me a Jeep, a 4x4 Jeep. And I put Linda and the guy in the Jeep. And the Jeep literally just sat over top of the snow and spun until I got out on Route 1. And then we took him up to the Catholic hospital in Baltimore, the charity hospital. And they saved his life, but he had to go on dialysis. And all the time, Linda was threatening the hospital to sue them and this, that, and the other if the boy didn't make it. I said, come on, Linda, it's your fault. I mean, you waited till the last minute, and the boy would be DEAD if I hadn't asked you what was going on. You would have just let him lie there in bed and pass away. You know, that was the second nail in the coffin of our relationship. And then her grandson came over, and I had a coupon for it was like Outback Steakhouse, and you got 2 meals and 1 dessert for $20. So I thought the 3 of us could split 2 meals and nurse, some glasses of water or something. So I took Linda and the kid to the Outback Steakhouse. Linda and I had water and a little house salad, and the kid sat there and ate 2 full dinners. And of course, he couldn't finish all the food. So essentially, he ate around on 2 plates and wasted 1 plate of food. And I was really angry. I was like, Linda, we could have split the food between the 3 of us, had a good time and all, instead of you and I sitting here eating a couple of lettuce leaves and drinking a glass of water and watching this kid stuff himself. And she told the kid, oh, go on and eat. And see, that was the whole dysfunction of her family, was she overindulged her kids and didn't teach them decency or level-headedness or any of that. And they all grew up narcissistic and spoiled and depressed, all about themselves and nothing about anybody else. And all of this who struck John, as my mother used to say. So I broke it off with her, and then she did the trifling thing of asking for everything back that she had given me, a little heart pillow and crap like that, But I had learned a lesson, and I had literally dodged a bullet, thank God, by not getting more involved with her. But I don't even know how I got on that subject. I guess I'm in rearview mirror mode about my life. My father's birthday is coming up the end of the month. I miss him terribly. Last night was a rough night with the tongue biting. And if any of y'all pray for me, please be very specific that God will rescue me from this tongue biting. And it's very painful. And the IBS has flared up. So if you pray for PopPop, just pray very specifically, because I am in the warrior prayer mode of scooping my legs out of the bed, getting into my wheelchair, praying for 20 minutes or so, and then scooping my legs back into bed and dealing with neuropathy in my hands and my feet and all of this unpleasant stuff. I was watching Tom's channel at Watchman River, and he said essentially that he wouldn't have had his ministry if it weren't for his Lyme disease. And my thing about that is, okay, well, God said he desires for us to prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. So as long as your soul is prospering, why would you be good with the disease hanging around? And so Tom's like, well, this is the way it is, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that was then, but now you have your ministry. And if you were in better health, you would be able to do more. And that's the way I look at it. If I was in better health, my place would be neater and cleaner, and I would have a better witness with me mano derecha, Raj. Because I get judged for the way my room is, because with a wheelchair, it's hard to even put something up on a shelf. So if I have to put something up on the shelf, I just go ahead and I got knocked offline by a notification. I forgot to put the phone on Do Not Disturb. But in any case, if I have to put something on the shelf from the wheelchair, I just basketball it and throw it and let it kind of just roll around on the shelf and hope that it stays there. But fam, I got faith. I have faith that someday I'll walk again. And I believe that expression that the kingdom suffers violence and the violent take it back by force. And so I do that in prayer every day. Unfortunately, I don't have time to hang out, but joined in to say hi. I hope you have a great day. Thank you, Justin. I've been faithful with you for keeping you in prayer, because there's a lot going on in this world. And I hope you all have a bug out bag so that when the stuff gets crazy, you can get down into that subway and have a backpack with some food and water in it. Maybe some extra water for the people that forgot theirs. But it's like 46 is trying to sleepwalk us into WW3. If you watch Canadian Prepper or Luis Santiago's channel, the Grand Supreme News channel, he's got a good channel. He has a speech impediment, but he's a good guy with a good channel. Anyway, Justin, speaking of going, I gotta go too. It's just about time for me to take my meds and check everything to see if I'm still alive. Oh yeah, I believe in the Lord taking care of us 100%. But I also believe in being prepared. All right, man, I'll see y'all later. Poppy pops out.